Yo, what's up, guys? Coming at you today with a Indian butter chicken recipe. Also gonna be doing some garlic basmati rice. It's gonna go together perfectly. Now, this recipe is a little bit more involved than some of the other ones that I've done in the past. Like you'll want to get your chicken marinade like the day before, leave it in the fridge for at least a day to really soak in all those flavors. But trust me, it is well worth it. Absolutely delicious. And really, it's not all that bad whenever you get down into it and get working in your kitchen. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so we're going to start this off by getting our boneless, skinless chicken thighs, about 28 ounces worth, cut up into bite-sized portions. Then we're going to pour about a half a cup of plain Greek yogurt into that mixture. Alright, so next up we're going to start on our spices. So we got about 1.5 tablespoons of minced garlic that we're adding in there. Then we're going to throw in about 1 to 2 tablespoons of minced ginger as well. Then 2 teaspoons of garam masala. Now this is a special Indian spice that I actually bought online. Then we're going to do 1 teaspoon of turmeric. 1 teaspoon of ground cumin. Then 1 teaspoon of chili powder as well. Now you're doing salt to taste here. Obviously raw chicken, you can't actually taste how much salt is without risking salmonella, but it's about 1 teaspoon of salt overall. So you get that nice and mixed up. Make sure you have an even coating and all the spices are mixed in. Then we're just going to throw this in some deli containers. Once you have all your chicken thrown in deli containers, you're just throwing this in the fridge overnight. Now, these are all the ingredients that you need. I'm going to throw these in the description below so you can get a detailed look. So we're going to start this off by doing our garlic basmati rice. So we're going to get our heat set to like a medium temperature, throw in about 2 tablespoons of butter, and then about 5 cloves of minced garlic. It's a lot of garlic, but for like this entire pot of rice, like it is well worth it to like get a full taste of the garlic in there. And then you're throwing about 1.5 cups of the basmati rice in to the garlic butter. Just getting that nice and stirred just to get like the rice toasted in that garlic butter. And then you're throwing 2.5 cups of chicken broth in here. So we're going to let this come up to a boil, and once it's boiling, you're going to turn that heat to like a simmer to like a medium low temperature and like cover it. But you're basically letting this rice come up to a boil, putting the pan on, or the lid on, turn it down to a simmer, and just letting it go for about 15 minutes at that simmering temperature. Now, it might not cook perfectly. Like, you gotta like look at your rice and taste your rice. See if it's done. Like, if there's too much liquid still in the pot, turn your heat up a little bit longer, let go for a little bit more. But if the liquid's all like simmered out of it, you can go ahead and turn your heat off and just leave it covered for another like 10 minutes afterwards, and your rice will be good to go. You really just gotta figure out how to like judge the rice at the end. Like I said, if there's liquid in the bottom, keep it on the heat for longer after these 15 minutes are up. If the liquid is simmered out of it and like the rice is fully cooked, just taste it with a fork and figure that out. Then you're good to pull it and just let it like sit over like no heat. Alright, so while that rice is going, we're going to go ahead and do our chicken. So the chicken has been in my fridge overnight, at least 24 hours, just fully marinating into the mixture that we got going. So we're pulling like quite a bit of olive oil into our pan. This is a lot of olive oil, but the fact that we're doing like a full, you know, like big container, small container of the chicken in 2 separate batches, you don't want to add more oil between doing the chicken, so you want to make sure there's enough oil in the pan to like do like the entire batch. Might seem like a lot of fat and it might be sputtering a little bit, but trust me on this, it'll be fine wherever you get down to it. Now I did run out of gas here. If you're using a portable container like me, make sure you don't. Yep, completely empty. Don't burn yourself. And we're back. Alright, so now that we have gas back in our gas burner here, you're gonna cook this chicken until it's simmered on the outside. Now, you don't want to fully cook this chicken through. You're only cooking it for like 2 to 3 minutes per side. We're actually gonna finish cooking this chicken later in our sauce. And if you fully cook it through right here, it's gonna be like tough and overdone. So our rice timer just went off, so we're giving that a little stir, but as you can see, there's still a lot of liquid in this pot. Now I pull this from the heat, but I'm actually gonna like cook this on like a low simmer for probably another 5-10 minutes just to like simmer that liquid out. Now our chicken is finally done. Like I said, we're not fully cooking the chicken. It's only 2 to 3 minutes per side just to brown it. Pull that chicken out, throw a whole diced onion into the pan as long as 1 tablespoon butter and another like half tablespoon of oil in here. Again, it might seem like a lot of oil, but whenever we get down to like cooking our sauce, like you want a lot of fat in there. So we're getting our onions like kind of sweat here. Like you can see they have this nice golden brown to them. As soon as they've sweat for about like 5-6 minutes, we're gonna go ahead and throw our garlic in there, as well as 1.5 tablespoons of minced ginger. And we're just gonna simmer this until the garlic and ginger gets like this nice fragrance to it. Now we're gonna start on our spices. 1.5 teaspoons of cumin, 1.5 teaspoons of garam masala, another 1 teaspoon of coriander. Get that stirred. Again, you're just cooking this until it's fragrant. As you're cooking, you'll be able to tell whenever you can get that smell. Then after about another minute of the spices like simmering, we're gonna add 14 ounces of crushed tomatoes and then 1 teaspoon of chili powder. Get that fully stirred in. And then we're also gonna add salt to taste. I do about 3 handfuls of salt here. This might seem like a lot of salt, but you'd be surprised that like as long as the sauce doesn't taste salty, the salt just elevates those flavors. And like I've said in the past, salt to taste. So we're gonna stir this all in and actually get a little taste of it. I'm happy with the salt level here, even though I don't show it. But if it doesn't taste salty, but like it feels like it's missing something, add a little bit more salt to it. So we're doing the sauce for about 12 minutes here, stirring it, keeping it going. You're getting like this nice dark brown like color to it. Now it's gonna seem like you may have burnt the sauce, but like you're totally fine here. As long as it doesn't turn black, you're good. So after about 12 minutes of like stirring and just like fully simmering it down, we're gonna go ahead and add this like concoction to our blender. Give that a nice little blend, kind of like melt it down a little bit. And now we're actually gonna add some water to it as well. We're adding maybe 1/4 cup of water here. We're gonna blend it until it's smooth, then add probably another 1/4 cup of water as well, and blend it again. You're just looking for this like smooth concoction. You want to add maybe 1/2 cup of water at most to the blender. You don't want to over blend it because you still want this sauce to be kind of thick. So after you have that fully blended into a nice smooth sauce, you're gonna go ahead and add that back to our pan. I'm using a like rubber spoon here to scrape it out. If you have a spatula, that works wonders to fully get all the sauce out. So we're gonna go ahead and add our chicken and all the juices off that plate back into the pan. Remember, our chicken isn't cooked yet. So whenever you get that back in the pan, you're gonna add 1 cup of heavy cream, as well as 1 tablespoon of sugar. Now, you're gonna simmer this concoction until the chicken is done. Remember, our chicken isn't fully cooked yet. So if you're worried about, you wanna get a thermometer out and cook that chicken until it's 165 degrees internal temperature on the thickest part. If you're confident about it, you can even like pull a piece of chicken out, check it later, and as long as the chicken's done, you're good to go. Remember, 165 degrees if you're using a thermometer for like being safe to eat, or you can cut a thick piece up and look in the side. As long as there's no pink, you're good. But with that, we're done. So we're gonna get it plated here. Our basmati rice has just been sitting off to the side simmering. Like I said, if there's still liquid in the bottom, cook it a little bit longer. If the liquid's all cooked out, stir in a little bit of butter and you're good to go. Fill in about half our bowl with the garlic basmati rice, and then fill in the other half with our buttered chicken. You can plate this however you want. I just think it looks aesthetic doing it this way. So after our chicken and our rice are in the bowl, I'm actually going to use a paper towel to like wipe down the edge of the bowl from like touching the edge, just to make it a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. And then I'm just taking a little bit of fresh parsley, leaving it right in the middle. If you really want to plate this, you can go ahead and like chop up some fresh parsley and sprinkle it over the top. Makes it a little bit more herbal. But with that, we're done. Happy eating. Yo, what's up, guys? Coming at you today with a Indian bar chicken. Kicking my goddamn heater.